and good evening. You're watching Express News with me, Nancy Kohli Mahajan. Let's take a look at the top stories of the day. The voting for the assembly elections in Maharashtra and Haryana ends. The people from all walks of life exercise their franchise. 65% voter turnout recorded till 6 in the evening in Haryana, while in Maharashtra 60.5% voting has been recorded. Polling being held for all 288 assembly constituencies, where 3,237 candidates including 235 women were in the fray. BJP is seeking a second straight term under Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis in Maharashtra, contesting 164 seats. Sena fielded candidates on 126 seats. Congress fielded 147 candidates and the ally NCP 121. Maharashtra has a total 8,98,039,600 voters, including 1,06,76,013 in the age group of 18 to 25 years. Nearly 6.5 lakh polling personnel were deployed at 96,000 polling booths across the state. Polling for 90 assembly constituencies in Haryana also ends. The prominent figures included Chief Minister Manohar Lal, former Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda, JJP's Dushyant Chautala and the INLD's Abhay Singh Chautala. As many as 19,578 polling stations were set, including 13,837 in rural areas. Tight security arrangements were made and over 75,000 security personnel mobilized for the elections. Over 1.83 crore voters were eligible to vote. That included 85 lakh women, over 1 lakh service voters and 252 transgenders. Of the total eligible voters, over 89 lakh young voters were under 40 of age in Haryana. The by-polls in 2 Lok Sabha constituencies and 51 assembly seats across 18 states were also held today. The counting will take place on the 24th of this month. The assembly constituencies for which by-polls were held include 11 seats of Uttar Pradesh, 6 of Gujarat, 5 seats each in Kerala and Bihar, 3 in Sikkim, 4 each of Punjab and Assam, 2 each of Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan and Himachal Pradesh, and 1 seat each in Odisha, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Meghalaya, Puducherry and Arunachal Pradesh. The next session of Parliament will be held from 18th November to 13th December. A number of bills are likely to be taken up during this session. Union Home Minister Amit Shah attended the observation of the Police Commemoration Day at the Police Memorial Ground in New Delhi. He paid respects to the martyred policemen who became a source of pride and motivation not only for the CRPF but for the entire police fraternity. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh dedicated to the nation the newly constructed Colonel Chewang Rinchen Bridge at Shyok River in Ladakh. The bridge has been built by the Border Roads Organization. It will not only provide all the weather connectivity in the region but also be a strategic asset in the border areas. Rajnath Singh has said that Kashmir is India's internal matter, and even the Chinese President Xi Jinping did not mention Kashmir in his meeting with Prime Minister Modi in Mahabalipuram. He asserted that China's recent statement for action against terror is also significant. Addressing the gathering, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that Siachen area is now open for tourists, and from Siachen Base Camp to Kumar Post, the entire area has been opened for tourism purpose. Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology Ravi Shankar Prasad attended the Meitei Startup Summit on leveraging technology for socio-economic growth in New Delhi. While addressing the gathering, the minister said that with the digital inclusion, India is writing its own success story. He also said that with e-hospitals, e-scholarship, e-visa and BHIM, digital payment has helped Digital India initiative become a mass movement. India slammed Pakistan for unilaterally stopping the postal mail service between the two nations, saying the move was in contravention of the international norms. Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that Pakistan resorted to the move without giving any prior notice to India. Ayush Minister Shripad Nayak inaugurated the Ayurvedic Palliative Care Unit at the Army Base Hospital in Delhi. The care unit established with an aim of providing healthcare facilities to the armed forces and their families. And speaking on the occasion, the Union Minister said that Ayurveda can play an important role in keeping everyone healthy, and our Jawans can also take the advantage from the Ayurvedic palliative new care. The gold prices on Monday fell marginally by 30 rupees to 38,955 rupees per 10 grams in the national capital on a weak global trend, according to the HDFC Securities. The silver prices though moved up by 150 rupees to 46,750 rupees per kilogram from 46,600 rupees per kilogram. Crude oil futures fell by 9 rupees to 3,816 rupees per barrel on Monday after participants reduced positions, tracking a subdued trend in the global markets. A delay of more than 3 hours in the running of Delhi-Lucknow Tejas Express on 19th October has cost IRCTC around 1.6 lakh rupees, which the railway subsidiary will pay through its insurance companies as compensation to around 950 passengers, a first in the history of the Indian Railways. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has asked the e-commerce giants Amazon and Flipkart to disclose the names of the top 5 sellers on their platform, the price list of the goods of preferred vendors, and the kind of support provided to the sellers. The government is planning to invite bids for 100% stake sale in Air India next month, and already some entities have expressed interest in the national carrier. The airline is sitting on a debt pile of around 58,000 crore rupees besides huge accumulated losses running into thousands of crores. India became a net importer of copper for the first time in 18 years in 2018-19 as the closure of Vedanta's copper smelter in Tuticorin wiped out more than 46% of the country's production of the base metal, said a research report. Reliance Jio has announced new medium price tariff plan by marginally cutting the existing backup and adjusting the interconnection usage charges. The 3-month 2 GB per day pack will now cost only 444 rupees instead of 448 rupees. India's second largest IT services firm, the Infosys, has said it has placed a whistleblower complaint before its audit committee. The step has been taken after an anonymous group that calls itself Ethical Employees wrote to the Infosys board alleging that the company is taking unethical steps to increase the short-term revenue and the profits. Indigo is focusing on China and other Southeast Asian nations to boost its international network. Indigo has launched services to 4 destinations in China and Vietnam in the last 1 month alone. SpiceJet plans to induct wide-body planes early next year and is looking at various options as the budget airline steers ahead with its ambitious expansion plans. The low-cost carrier is looking at the options from Boeing and Airbus. Currently, SpiceJet operates only Boeing and Bombardier planes. The Australian carrier Qantas completed test of the longest non-stop commercial passenger flight to study the effects of long journeys on pilots, crew and passengers. The Boeing 787 carrying around 50 people on board took 19 hours and 16 minutes to fly from New York to Sydney, a 16,200-kilometer route. Facebook executive David Marcus tried to calm the fears of officials threatening to block its proposed digital currency, saying Libra won't be controlled by a single company. The U.S. Energy Secretary Rick Perry arrived in Brussels for talks about advancing new nuclear energy technologies known as small modular reactors. The U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper met the Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani in Kabul in a bid to bring talks with the Taliban back on track after President Donald Trump abruptly broke off negotiations last month seeking to end the United States' longest war. The U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other senior members of Congress made an unannounced visit to Afghanistan. Pelosi also met the President Ashraf Ghani. European Union has called for Afghan ceasefire and said the breakdown in the US Taliban talks presented an opportunity to push for a truce. The Syrian army troops arrived in Raqqa for deployment to strategic positions in the suburbs. The Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has already deployed his forces in territory formerly protected by the US. The US troops crossed into Iraq early today as part of the withdrawal from northeast Syria ordered by US President Donald Trump that opened the way for Turkish troops to launch an offensive against Kurdish fighters in the area. Syria's displaced families sought safety and assistance as they attempted to adjust to life in refugee camps in Tal Abyad. Tens of thousands have abandoned their homes across northern Syria, a new humanitarian crisis in a part of the country where a semblance of stability had been established. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will make another attempt to win Parliament's backing for his Brexit deal. Boris Johnson had to ask the European Union for an extension to UK's 31st October exit date after the MPs backed a move to delay the approval of the deal on Saturday. European Commission said Britain must now inform European Union executive of its next step as soon as possible after a key vote on the latest Brexit deal did not take place on Saturday. The Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe began a series of bilateral meetings with the foreign dignitaries who are in Tokyo for Emperor Naruhito's enthronement ceremony. The leaders from around the world arrived one after another at the Haneda airport amid heightened security and an increase in the police patrol. Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam met with the imams at the Kowloon Mosque to apologize after police hit the place of worship with a water cannon as they battled protesters during another day of political unrest. Jets of blue dye mixed with an irritant and water hit Hong Kong's biggest mosque on Sunday after pro-democracy demonstrations in the heart of the Kowloon Peninsula. Masked protesters helped clean up Hong Kong's biggest mosque after police hit it with jets of blue dye and water. People wearing face masks in defiance of the city's emergency mask ban were seen cleaning up blue dye left on the steps of the Kowloon Mosque. Hong Kong residents said that the anti-government protesters and police both overreacted after a largely peaceful protest degenerated into violence on the Kowloon Peninsula, with the shops destroyed and the ATM torched. Argentine President Mauricio Macri and his challenger Alberto Fernandez squared off at a debate for candidates ahead of an 27th October vote when Argentines will choose their next leader. Joko Widodo has been sworn in for a second 5-year term as the President of Indonesia. The 58-year-old leader pledged to cut the red tape and keep building infrastructure to underpin growth in the country. The final vote counting is underway in Bolivia's presidential elections. Bolivians went to the polls on 20th of October to decide the extension of South America's longest-serving leftist leader, President Evo Morales, or oust the opposition leader Carlos Mesa in a tight election. Australia's biggest newspapers ran front pages made up to appear heavily redacted in a protest against legislation for restricting the press freedom. Hundreds of Haitians took to the streets of Port-au-Prince calling for the resignation of President Jovenel Moise. Haiti has been rocked by violent protests in the last month that have led schools, public offices and the businesses to close. Chilean president has declared a state of emergency as many died after a supermarket in the capital Santiago was set alight by demonstrators. Many flights into the city's airport were suspended as crew were unable to get to work due to the prevailing protest. Hundreds of thousands of protesters flooded the streets of Lebanon for a fourth day in the biggest show of strength, a dissent against the establishment in decades. In capital Beirut, tens of thousands thronged the central district, including the street leading up to government headquarters. Hundreds of pro-independence protesters took to the streets of Barcelona for a 7th successive night with anger over the jailing of the Catalan separatist leaders, showing little sign of abating. The protest threw dozens of sacks of trash in front of stationary police vans. Over 6,000 Rohingya refugees have agreed to be relocated to the newly built camp on the Bhasan Char Island. The Refugee Commissioner Bangladesh said that the officials will be posted to the Bhasan Char Island in the next few days to oversee the process. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, at least 30 people were killed and 18 others sustained third-degree burns in a bus accident near the western city of Manza Gungu of the capital, Kinshasa. 3 U.S. tourists and a Costa Rican were killed when a tractor trailer collided with their van in a national park in Costa Rica. The Costa Rican citizen who died was reportedly the van's driver. A tornado plowed through the parts of northern Dallas in U.S.'s Texas late, knocking out power to more than 1 lakh houses and businesses and delaying flights at the regional airports. No immediate injuries or deaths were reported. Experts and scholars from across the world gathered in Dubai, UAE for the opening of the 2019 World Green Economy Summit to promote the green economy and sustainable development. The full extradition hearing of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange will go ahead in February next year after London judge Vanessa Batirizza declined a request by his lawyers to delay the proceedings by 3 months. France's Louvre Museum, home to Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, assembled more than 160 paintings, sculptures, letters and drawings from the Renaissance era in an exhibition to mark the 500th anniversary of the Italian master's death. A mural on a wall near Argentina's border with Paraguay that was created by 55 artists from across Latin America, was recognized by the Guinness World Records as the largest pencil-drawn surface in the world. Andrea Gandini, a 22-year-old Roman sculptor, is making a growing name for himself by turning the Eternal City's dead tree stumps into much-admired pieces of art. Gandini chipped away at a 66 stump, a sculpture of a she-wolf, the symbol of Rome, in the huge Villa Pamphili Park. Sheep replaced traffic on the streets of Madrid as shepherds steered through their flocks through the heart of the Spanish capital, following ancient migration routes as part of an annual event that started in 1994. Dozens of giant colorful kites flew against a blue sky above the Maltese island of Gozo as the International Kite and Wind Festival came to a close. The three-day festival included a competition for international teams of professional kite masters. India closed in on a series sweep against South Africa as play came to an end on day 3 of the Ranchi Test. South Africa finished the day at 132 for 8. Shubhankar Sharma carded an unimpressive 73 on the final day to finish tied 40th at the Open de France Golf Championship, where compatriot SSP Chaurasia wasted 3 good days to end tied 48. Union Minister for Railways Piyush Goyal congratulated Prithvi Shekhar for winning gold at the World Deaf Tennis Championships in Turkey. Shekhar defeated Jaroslav of the Czech Republic 6-4, 6-3 to clinch gold. Gugu Garg and Dhruv Rawat put up a brilliant effort to win the mixed doubles title at the Egypt International 2019 in Cairo. They held their nerves for a tied 21-16, 22-20 victory over third seeds Utkarsh Arora and Karishma Watkar in an all-Indian final. Indian cricketer Rohit Sharma surpassed former Australian cricketer Don Bradman's record of highest average in the Test cricket on home soil. Fast bowler Umesh Yadav surpassed former New Zealand captain Stephen Fleming's record of the highest strike rate in an innings in Test cricket. Bangladesh's upcoming tour of India is in doubt as players of the national side announced that they will not take part in any cricketing activities unless a 11-point demand made to the cricket board is met. This also means that they will not partake in the ongoing National Cricket League session. The former number 1 ranked player Andy Murray won the European Open to claim his first ATP singles title in more than 2 years. Murray defeated Stan Wawrinka 3-6, 6-4, 6-4 in Antwerp, Belgium. Manchester United ended Liverpool's 100% start to the Premier League season and their 17-match winning streak with a 1-all draw. The result cuts Liverpool's lead over second-place Manchester City to 6 points. Augsburg took an early lead against a wasteful Bayern Munich but grabbed one back in stoppage time to earn a 2-all draw and deny the champions top spot in the Bundesliga. Inter Milan win 4-3 and keep in touch with leaders Juventus in Series A as Stefano Pioli's first game in the chart of AC Milan ended in a 2-all draw against Lauli Lecce. There was never any shortage of courage, but not even the bravest of blossoms could punch through Springbok brawn as South Africa reached the Rugby World Cup semi-finals by beating Japan 26-3 and ending their dream run at their home tournament. Ross Moriarty scored winning try as Wales exploited their numerical superiority to rally for a 2019 victory over France in the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals after French lock Sebastian had been shown a red card. England said they are ready to give it everything when they take on the All Blacks in the World Cup semi-final after Saturday's crushing 40-16 win over Australia. Roger Federer checks off another landmark when he starts his bid for a 10th Basel title by playing the 1500th match of his career. The 38-year-old begins his bid for his 103rd title against German qualifier Peter Gojkovic. Rajasthan Royals appointed former Australian cricketer Andrew McDonald as their new head coach for a 3-year term. MotoGP World Champion Marc Marquez won the Japanese Grand Prix with a pole-to-flag ride as Honda secured Constructors' title at their home Motegi circuit. The Constructors' title was Honda's 25th, coming as the company celebrates 60 years in motorcycle racing. Over 700 runners from 30 countries descended on the scenic surroundings of Croatia for the 4th edition of the Dalmacija Ultra Trail, an endurance race with the longest discipline being a grueling 118-kilometer stretch to small pirate town of Omis. After 26 qualifiers around 22 countries, more than 130 riders from around the world converged on the Swiss Bike Park in Bern with the aim of being crowned the Red Bull UCI Pump Track World Championship champion. Tommy Zula claimed gold in the men's category, while Peyton Ridnour reigned supreme in the women's side. Filmmaker Rajkumar Hirani took to Twitter to share a glimpse of his film, bringing Mahatma Gandhi's values back into everyone's lives. The film, viewed to celebrate Gandhi's 150 years, brings some of the leading actors like Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt together. After launching a power-packed motion poster, Salman Khan shared a new poster of Dabangg 3 featuring his on-screen wife Rajo, played by Sonakshi Sinha. The movie is scheduled to hit the big screens on 20th December. After registering its name as this year's second highest grosser, Hrithik Roshan and Tiger Shroff Star of War has crossed the 300 crore rupee mark. It seems like an action racing video game has come to life as the trailer of Sushant Singh Rajput and Jacqueline Fernandez star Netflix film Drive is finally out. The movie is slated to open on Netflix on the 1st of November. Bollywood stars graced the red carpet of an award ceremony where women achievers from different spheres of life from across the globe felicitated. Anushka Sharma was titled the Style Icon of the Year, Ananya Pandey Youth Influencer of the Year and Alia Bhatt Performer of the Year. Sonam Kapoor raised the style quotient as she presented a monochrome collection at a fashion show in India's showbiz capital Mumbai. The collection was all about dresses, skirts, pants, leggings, jumpsuits, mostly in the shades of black and white. Shimri ensembles with heavy embroideries ruled Indian wedding-themed fashion show held in the country's fashion capital Mumbai. Bollywood actor Nupur Sanon also walked the ramp for the 4th edition of the show event. A vast crowd of ghoulish zombies descended on the streets of Mexico City for the city's annual zombie walk. Wearing frightening costumes and elaborate makeup, the horde of undead gathered at Mexico City's iconic monument to the revolution and ambled down the nearby streets. Hong Kong superstar Karen Mog's career reached new heights with the singer recently breaking record for the highest altitude mass-attended music concert in the Tibetan capital at the altitude of 3,646 meters above the sea level. It has recently been announced that the Batman will see Zoe Kravitz play Catwoman and Paul Dano will portray the Riddler, but Joaquin Phoenix's version of the Clown Prince of Crime will not feature in the film. Richard Flood is set to star in a recurring role in the long-running Grey's Anatomy. The actor will play a key character, Dr. Cormac Hayes, the new head of pediatric surgery at Grace Lawn. Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon are combining their star power for the new Apple TV series, The Morning Show. The program goes behind the scenes of a fictional American morning show with the first episode tackling the Me Too movement. Mexico's very first Miss Wheelchair pageant took place in Veracruz State in an event that organizers and contestants hope will raise awareness for the inclusion of the disabled persons in the country. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.